Berry Gordy, the esteemed founder of Motown Records, once hailed Bobby DeBarge as the most exceptionally talented artist the label had ever signed. This high praise underscored the significant impact Bobby had on the music industry. However, following Bobby's passing, his family unveiled deeply personal and long-hidden secrets about his early life and the struggles faced by the DeBarge family. These revelations shed light on the darker, often tragic aspects of Bobby's upbringing and personal battles. To fully appreciate the gravity of these revelations, it's essential to first explore Bobby DeBarge's formative years. Understanding his early experiences offers crucial insight into the challenges and influences that shaped his remarkable yet tumultuous career. This exploration will help us better grasp the complexities of his life and the indelible mark he left on music history. Early life and career of Bobby DeBarge. Robert Bobby DeBarge Jr., born on March 5, 1956 in Detroit, Michigan, was destined to leave a lasting impact on the music industry. His early life was marked by both significant talent and profound hardship, which together shaped his remarkable yet troubled career. Bobby was the son of Robert DeBarge Sr., a white man who served in the U.S. Army, and Etherline DeBarge, an African-American woman with a passion for gospel music. The contrasting backgrounds of his parents set the stage for a complex and challenging upbringing. Robert DeBarge Sr. was not only a military man, but also a deeply troubled individual. His relationship with Etherline was fraught with difficulty. During their marriage, Robert Sr. fathered 5 other children with a different woman, an indication of the family's instability and the strain it placed on Etherline. This turbulent environment had a profound effect on Bobby and his siblings, creating a chaotic and often painful childhood. Bobby's early years were marred by severe trauma. His father was not only physically abusive, but also sexually exploited Bobby, a violation that left deep psychological scars. Such experiences at a young age contributed to Bobby's later struggles with substance abuse and personal instability. By the age of 15, Bobby was introduced to heroin, a substance that would enslave him for much of his life. This addiction would become a significant barrier to his well-being and success, reflecting the depth of the challenges he faced from a young age. In the early 1970s, Bobby's family relocated to Grand Rapids, Michigan following his parents' separation and subsequent divorce. This move was part of an attempt to escape the violence and instability that had characterized their lives in Detroit. However, the new environment did not immediately bring relief. Reports indicate that Robert Sr. continued to be violent, often attacking Etherline, which added further strain to the family's already difficult circumstances. Despite these hardships, Bobby DeBarge's prodigious musical talent began to emerge. He demonstrated an early aptitude for playing various musical instruments and singing, a talent that would later become his lifeline. Together with his younger brother, Tommy DeBarge, Bobby began performing in local bands. Their natural musical abilities quickly became apparent, and they started to make a name for themselves in the local music scene. In 1975, Bobby's musical journey took a significant turn when he reunited with his former schoolmate, Gregory Williams. Together, they formed a group that sought to make a mark in the music industry. This group, initially known for their local performances, gained a significant opportunity when they auditioned for White Heat, the backing band of the famed musician Barry White. Their successful audition led to the release of their first album later that year. However, this initial success was short-lived. Barry White's heavy tax burden forced him to drop many of his musicians, leaving only a few remaining members. In 1976, Bobby and his group, now renamed Hot Ice, released an album titled Hot Ice. This album, which included a song Bobby composed and performed titled Please Don't Let Me Go, was initially released in Europe before making its way to the United States and Canada. Despite its release on Source Records and its subsequent re-release by Burns Records, Hot Ice did not achieve significant commercial success. During this period, Bobby struggled with increasing substance abuse, which began to take a toll on his professional life and personal well-being. When White Heat disbanded, Gregory Williams, who remained in Akron, sought to form a new band. He recruited musicians including Philip Ingram, Tommy DeBarge, and MC Clark, among others. This new group was named Switch, a nod to their ability to switch instruments and perform them proficiently. Gregory Williams recorded a demo with this group and presented it to Motown Records, a prestigious label known for its influence in the music industry. Motown Records, impressed by the talent of Switch, signed the group, which now included Bobby and his younger brother Tommy DeBarge. In 1978, just a year after signing with Motown, Switch released their debut album. This album featured the track There'll Never Be, penned by Bobby and produced by Jermaine Jackson. The album's success was a significant achievement, earning gold status and showcasing Bobby's exceptional songwriting and vocal abilities. The album also included the ballad I Want to Be With You, featuring lead vocals by Bobby and Philip Ingram. Switch continued to build on their success with the release of their second album, Switch 2, in 1979. Produced again by Jermaine Jackson, this album also achieved gold status and included the hit song I Call Your Name, which was another composition by Bobby. The group's success was attributed to their top-notch musicianship and Bobby's distinctive multi-octave vocal range, making him a central figure in the band's appeal. In 1980, Switch released their third album, This Is My Dream, which was not produced by Jermaine Jackson but by Bobby DeBarge, Jody Sims, and Gregory Williams. This album also reached gold status, further cementing the group's reputation. The album featured the track Love Over and Over Again, a significant hit that demonstrated the band's continued success. However, during this period, Bobby's personal life began to unravel. His substance abuse issues, which had begun in his teenage years, intensified. By the time of the release of Switch's fifth album, Switch Fee, in 1981, tensions within the band were mounting. The Motown record label offered Bobby a solo contract, which he accepted, marking a new phase in his career. The contract was finalized in 1983, and Bobby's status as a prominent figure in the music scene was solidified. He also took on a key role in overseeing the albums of his siblings in the DeBarge Group. Bobby played a significant role in the DeBarge Group's debut album, co-producing it and co-writing the song Queen of My Heart with his younger brother DeBarge. His contributions extended to his own solo work, as he included Queen of My Heart on his third album, In a Special Way, which was produced by DeBarge. This polished version of the song showcased Bobby's continued influence in the industry. Despite his successes, Bobby faced significant challenges. In 1987, DeBarge and their eldest sister, Bunny DeBarge, left the DeBarge Group to pursue individual careers. DeBarge's solo career flourished, but Bobby struggled to maintain his momentum as a solo artist. He decided to rejoin his siblings to form a revamped DeBarge, resulting in the album Rhythm of the Night. On this album, Bobby and his younger brother James DeBarge split the lead vocal roles, signaling a brief period of stability and success. However, in 1988, Bobby's life took a dramatic turn when he was arrested for substance trafficking while in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He was sentenced to 5 years in a Wisconsin prison. After serving his sentence, Bobby returned to recording music and performing, but his health was deteriorating. He was struggling with AIDS, having contracted the HIV virus in the late 1980s before his incarceration. Despite his ongoing health issues and personal struggles, Bobby DeBarge's legacy as a talented musician and influential figure in the music industry remains impactful. His story is one of remarkable achievements overshadowed by personal battles and challenges. Bobby DeBarge's final album, It's Not Over, was a poignant culmination of his tumultuous life and career, recorded during a time of severe health decline. The album, released posthumously, reflects both his enduring talent and the tragic circumstances that plagued his later years. Despite his deteriorating condition, Bobby poured his heart into the project, creating a legacy of music that, while not widely celebrated during his lifetime, holds a special place for those who appreciate the depth of his artistry. Bobby's personal life was as complex and troubled as his career was illustrious. One notable relationship was his pursuit of LaToya Jackson, the fifth child of the Jackson family. This relationship is subtly referenced in the Switch ballad, You and I, where Bobby mentions LaToya's song, Nighttime Lover. His feelings for LaToya, however, eventually faded, leading to their parting. This relationship with LaToya was not the only intersection between the DeBarge and Jackson families. Bobby's brother, James DeBarge, also had a brief but highly publicized relationship with another Jackson sibling, Janet Jackson. The couple's marriage, however, was short-lived, ending in an annulment less than a year after their wedding. After his separation from LaToya, Bobby married Terry on December 10, 1990. Their union produced 2 children, Christian and Bobby Jr., marking a period of relative stability in Bobby's personal life. Despite this, rumors circulated about Bobby's sexuality, with some speculating that he might have been bisexual. Reports and rumors suggested that Bobby contracted HIV from his relationships with other men, but there were also claims that his HIV infection resulted from intravenous drug use. In an episode of the television series Unsung, Bunny DeBarge and former bandmate Gregory Williams addressed Bobby's sexuality, with Bunny posting on Facebook that her brother was bisexual, but that this was not his preferred identity. She emphasized that the portrayal of Bobby's life had been unfair and inaccurate, indicating that the public narrative had not fully captured the truth of his life. Bobby's struggle with substance abuse began in his teenage years and was exacerbated by his tumultuous childhood. He was introduced to heroin at the age of 15, a devastating addiction that plagued him throughout his life. The impact of his father, Robert DeBarge Jr.'s abusive behavior and sexual exploitation during Bobby's formative years created deep psychological scars. Robert Sr.'s violence and betrayal left lasting marks on Bobby, contributing to his descent into addiction. His brother, Chico DeBarge, later corroborated Bobby's accounts of their father's misconduct, underscoring the profound impact it had on Bobby's life. Before joining the DeBarge family musical group, Bobby had significant stints with other musical endeavors. His early work included collaborations with groups like Hot Ice and Switch. The DeBarge family musical group, founded in 1979, initially included El DeBarge, Bunny DeBarge, Randy DeBarge, and Mark DeBarge. Bobby joined his siblings in 1987, and Chico DeBarge joined them a year later in 1988. Bobby was recognized as the most gifted and versatile member of the DeBarge family, known for his exceptional singing, songwriting, and production skills. Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records, once praised Bobby as the most talented artist he had ever signed. Music producer Robert Louis also lauded Bobby, describing his unique voice and musical prowess as unparalleled and deeply charismatic. Despite his extraordinary talent, Bobby's life was marred by tragedy. His addiction and personal struggles overshadowed his musical achievements. The darkness that followed him into adulthood was not solely a product of his fame, but also of his early life traumas and subsequent substance abuse. Bobby's addiction began before he achieved fame, which suggests that his problems were not solely a result of the pressures of stardom, but were rooted in deeper personal issues. In the late 1970s, Bobby's addiction became more severe, and his involvement in substance abuse grew from personal use to trafficking and distribution. This shift marked a significant decline in his life and career. By 1988, Bobby and his brother Chico, along with 4 other individuals, were arrested for drug trafficking. This legal trouble further complicated his life, leading to a 5-year prison sentence for Bobby and a 6-year sentence for Chico. Their incarceration led to the disbandment of the DeBarge Group in 1989, a blow to their musical legacy and a testament to how substance abuse and legal issues can impact not just personal lives, but professional endeavors as well. Bobby's final years were a blend of brief periods of recovery and continued struggles. His last album, It's Not Over, symbolized his enduring commitment to music despite the health and personal challenges he faced. Unfortunately, Bobby did not live to see the success of this final project, as he succumbed to the complications of his long-standing health issues. The story of Bobby DeBarge is a complex tapestry of immense talent overshadowed by personal suffering and tragic circumstances. His contributions to music, particularly through groups like Switch and the DeBarge family, remain influential. but his life also serves as a stark reminder of the personal battles that many face behind the public facade of success. Reports emerging from various sources have painted a grim picture of the DeBarge family's turmoil, particularly focusing on Bobby and Chico DeBarge. These reports reveal a troubling saga of criminal activity, personal tragedy, and familial strife that ultimately led to Bobby DeBarge's untimely death. According to a detailed account shared by UP, Bobby and Chico DeBarge, both prominent figures in the music industry, found themselves entangled in a serious criminal plot. The brothers were allegedly involved in an operation to smuggle a substantial quantity of cocaine into Michigan. The plan was ambitious, aiming to transport more than 2 pounds of the drug from Los Angeles. However, their illicit endeavor was thwarted during a routine passenger inspection at Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Chico, along with an accomplice, was apprehended with packages containing the narcotic substance. This incident marked a significant low point in their lives, reflecting a descent from their once celebrated musical careers into a world of criminality. The repercussions of this criminal activity were profound and far-reaching. As reported by Lovely Ty, Bobby DeBarge faced a harsh reality while serving his 5-year prison sentence. It was within the confines of the Wisconsin prison system that Bobby received the devastating diagnosis of HIV. This revelation came as a brutal blow to a man already grappling with the consequences of his choices and the harsh conditions of incarceration. The diagnosis was not merely a medical condition, but a symbol of the broader struggles that plagued Bobby's life. Bobby's former schoolmate and bandmate Gregory Williams, who was part of the musical group Switch alongside Bobby, has provided insight into the artist's final years. According to Williams, Bobby's life in the latter years was marked by profound suffering. He faced severe psychological and emotional distress, exacerbated by his separation from his wife and children. The stress and isolation led Bobby to become increasingly paranoid and withdrawn. His health deteriorated rapidly, and as his condition worsened, he distanced himself further from his family, finding solace only in the substances that had become his escape. The most reliable sources indicate that Bobby contracted HIV through intravenous drug use, a tragic consequence of his substance abuse. During the period of his incarceration, effective treatments for HIV were not widely available, leaving Bobby with a bleak prognosis. His condition deteriorated further, and he was eventually moved to a hospice in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where he spent his final days. On August 16, 1995, Robert DeBarge Jr., known as Bobby, passed away at the age of 39. His death was a direct result of complications related to AIDS, a condition that had been significantly aggravated by his long-term substance abuse. Just 2 weeks prior to his death, Bobby had released his final album titled It's Not Over. The release of this album, which was intended as a testament to his enduring spirit and talent, was overshadowed by the grim realization that his own life was drawing to a close. The album's title, laden with irony, reflected Bobby's struggle to hold on despite knowing that his time was running out. Following his death, Bobby's family expressed both sorrow and admiration for the man he had been. His siblings, who had witnessed his decline and the impact of his struggles on their own lives, spoke about the profound influence Bobby had on their careers and personal lives. DeBarge, one of Bobby's brothers, acknowledged Bobby's immense talent and his role as the cornerstone of the DeBarge family's musical legacy. Noted, "Bobby was the real star. He taught me everything I know about music. He was a musical genius. Without Bobby, there wouldn't be DeBarge. He was the heart and soul of our music." This sentiment underscored the deep respect and love that held for his brother, recognizing Bobby's pivotal role in shaping the family's musical success. Bunny DeBarge, Bobby's sister, also reflected on the struggles Bobby faced. She remarked, "We all had our struggles, but Bobby's were the hardest. His addiction took a toll on him and on all of us." Bunny's statement highlighted the intense personal and familial challenges that the DeBarge family endured, offering a glimpse into the emotional and psychological strain that Bobby's addiction imposed on them all. James DeBarge, another brother, spoke about Bobby's charismatic presence and the impact he had on others. James described Bobby as someone with an incredible presence and noted how Bobby's mere presence could captivate and mesmerize those around him. James's reflections painted a picture of Bobby as a dynamic and magnetic individual whose talent and charisma left a lasting impression on both his family and his audience. Bobby's son, Bobby DeBarge III, emerged as a musician in his own right, following in his father's footsteps. Along with his cousins, Christina DeBarge, the daughter of James DeBarge, Andrew DeBarge, the son of Tommy DeBarge, and DeBarge Jr., the son of DeBarge, the new generation of the DeBarge family continued the musical legacy established by Bobby and his siblings. This next generation represents a continuation of the DeBarge musical tradition, despite the many hardships and tragedies that have beset the family. Following Bobby's death, a series of shocking revelations surfaced about the DeBarge family, including their struggles with substance abuse. Bobby was not alone in his battle. His siblings also grappled with similar issues. The DeBarge family's descent into substance abuse seemed almost like a curse, with each member facing their own struggles with addiction. Their mother, Etherline DeBarge, spoke candidly about the toll substance abuse had taken on her children. In an interview with Atlanta Daily World, Etherline described how the pressures and falseness of the music industry had exacerbated her son's struggles. She lamented that Motown had exploited her son's work, further contributing to the disillusionment and despair experienced by the family. Chico DeBarge, one of Bobby's brothers, also revealed the painful impact of their father's actions on Bobby and his siblings. Chico spoke about how their father's behavior had deeply affected Bobby, who in turn expressed his pain through his music. Chico remarked that Bobby's anguish was palpable in his songs, reflecting the profound personal pain that fueled his creative expression. Robert DeBarge Sr., the patriarch of the DeBarge family, faced accusations from his ex-wife and children regarding his mistreatment of them. In response to these allegations, Robert DeBarge Sr. claimed that he had always respected his ex-wife's opinions and denied any wrongdoing. He expressed a reluctance to speak negatively about her, citing a desire to protect his children from further distress. Despite his assertions, his deteriorating health and the frailty of his voice, strained from his use of an oxygen tank, cast a shadow over his credibility. His response to the allegations seemed insufficient, given the gravity of the accusations against him. Further complicating the family's narrative, Bunny DeBarge and James DeBarge confirmed similar allegations of abuse at the hands of their father. Bunny's account of being taken advantage of by Robert Sr. added another layer of complexity to the family's troubled history. James also revealed that Bobby had been abusive towards him, a tragic turn of events that highlighted the dysfunctional dynamics within the family. The DeBarge family's musical legacy continued with the contributions of Bobby and his siblings, but their lives were marred by personal and familial struggles. Bobby and Tommy DeBarge, both integral to the success of the DeBarge musical dynasty, left behind a legacy of talent and creativity despite their personal challenges. Tommy DeBarge's death on October 21, 2021, was met with heartfelt tributes from his family. DeBarge reflected on Tommy's impact, noting the deep bond they shared and the influence of both Tommy and Bobby on their music career. Described Tommy as a loving, gentle soul whose legacy would endure through the music he created with Bobby and their peers. In summary, Bobby DeBarge's life was a poignant narrative of exceptional musical talent overshadowed by personal demons and familial strife. His story, intertwined with those of his siblings and their struggles, serves as a powerful reminder of the devastating impact of substance abuse and the complex interplay of personal and familial dynamics. Despite his tragic end, Bobby's musical genius and the legacy he left behind continue to resonate, offering a glimpse into the enduring impact of his contributions to the world of music. My brothers Bobby and Tommy DeBarge are now reunited in the embrace of our Lord Jesus Christ. While this brings a sense of spiritual comfort, the weight of their absence is still profoundly felt by our family. It will take considerable time to come to terms with their loss and the deep ache of missing them. Bobby DeBarge was not only an iconic musician, but also a brilliant talent whose life decisions and the trauma of his childhood ultimately led to his tragic downfall and premature death. It's heartbreaking to reflect on how seemingly small decisions can cascade into life-altering consequences. For Bobby, it all started with that one fateful shot of substance use at just 15 years old, a single moment that spiraled into a lifelong battle with addiction. This initial decision set him on a path of self-destruction, pulling him deeper and deeper into a pool of substance abuse from which he could not escape. Despite his undeniable talent and charisma, qualities that made him a beloved figure in the music world, Bobby's struggles with substance use overshadowed his achievements. His voice was truly magical, and when he sang, it was as if he wielded a wand of enchantment, captivating everyone who heard him. His loss was felt not only by his family, who mourn the passing of a brother, father, and son, but also by the world, which grieves the loss of a musical genius. The curse of substance abuse, which has ravaged many lives, including those of the DeBarge family, highlights a global crisis affecting people from all walks of life. To protect oneself from this devastating issue, the best course is to avoid these harmful substances entirely, seeking healthier paths to cope with life's challenges. Thank you for joining us as we explored the poignant and inspiring story of Bobby DeBarge. Although his life was tragically cut short, his remarkable contributions to music and his enduring legacy continue to resonate with audiences around the world. Bobby's story is a testament to both the brilliance of his artistry and the harsh realities of his personal struggles. We hope this exploration of Bobby DeBarge's life and music has been both enlightening and moving. Stay tuned for more content that celebrates the lives and legacies of iconic artists.